Hey there! Welcome to another Speedpaint Journal by St. Linthoria. Welcome to my mind. Hey guys, so I was just looking through my old videos and things like that, thinking about how I should really go ahead and update their thumbnails because I don't really like how my first ones actually look anymore and things like that. And just reminiscing about the fact that it's almost been a year now since I've started posting videos to YouTube, which it doesn't feel like that, largely because I have the tendency to post like once per month. Like I try to aim for twice per month, but it's averaged out at this point to about once per month. So I was just looking at my old videos and I realized that one of the first ones I did was the one called Guns Can Suck. Which was in regards to like an incident that happened last year where someone just shot off a gun while they were drunk, and it was the first time that there had ever been any shootings at my apartment complex, or at least in my area of the apartment complex, and it sucked. And I thought, oh well, that's gonna be the worst that it's ever gonna be. It wasn't. So in, let's see here, I believe it was August. It was either July or August. The last few months have been a little bit blurry for me, honestly. But around August or so, there was a shootout that happened at my apartment complex. And, like, it was a really bad shootout. Like, someone died and someone else went to the hospital and was paralyzed. It was gang related. So one of the gang members died on the scene from this shootout. And the other one went to the hospital and became paralyzed from this. And they found over 6 dozen shells from this shootout. 6 dozen. And it was terrifying when this happened. It happened in the middle of the night, like 2 or 3 a.m. on a rainy night, and it was way more scary than any other one that's ever happened. Like, there was one that happened in June, a drive-by shooting specifically, and there were maybe like 6 or so shots that rang out at that point. And no one was actually hurt, or at least no one on the scene was hurt. The cops said that they had found some blood and some shells, but no one actually was still on the scene at the time. No one died at the scene at the time. And that was a little scary at the time, but this was terrifying. And it still kind of freaks me out, and I still have a little bit of paranoia lingering from any sudden loud sounds. I wake up at night sometimes thinking that I heard gunshots, and I didn't. It fucked me up. I'm not gonna lie. It really fucked me up for a bit. It's still kind of sort of affecting me in some ways. I wasn't harmed during it, thank goodness. But I think what caused it to implant itself so firmly is that when as I was watching like the 3 or 4 cars that were involved in this shooting peel out of the parking lot, go past my apartment window and everything, I thought to myself, this is fine, I'm still safe, like, it was a really bad one this time, but this hardly ever happens, and I'm still safe. And at that point in time, I don't usually tend to bother to turn on the light in my room, like, ever. So when the cops came by and came around checking on everyone, checking if there was any damage to apartments, I thought there was no damage to mine. But I woke up the next morning, looked at my far side wall, and saw a perfect circular hole. And my heart sank. And I looked over to the other side of my wall, to the corner, and there was a matching exit hole. And I looked between those two, and I realized this still is hard for me to talk about, honestly, which, yeah. I realized that I remembered that bullet going through. I realized that that bullet traveled through mere inches above my head from the spot that I was looking out my window at the time. I remembered hearing plaster falling and looking around me and trying to figure out what it was and not immediately seeing that bullet hole. How close I was to getting shot in the head. All because of some gang argument. The police still haven't really released any details about what exactly was going on. Just that it was opposing gangs. They didn't really release any information about whether either one of the people involved were residents of the complex or not. Or at least either one of the people injured, I should say. I know for a fact that at the very least, one of the people involved was at the apartment constantly, because I recognized one of the trucks that peeled out. And ever since then, I was, like, for a solid 3 weeks, I was constantly, whenever I was home, I was constantly looking out my windows whenever I heard anything that sounded even remotely like a truck drive up, because I was terrified of seeing that truck and having that knowledge that it might happen again because that particular person is related to gang activities. And like, I just want to reiterate, guns suck. They suck. Like, just, these gang members weren't new inducted members. They were well-known members with previous records, and they had access to these guns. Like, the most recent report that came out stated that they had legal access, like they obtained these guns legally. That shouldn't be able to happen. People are always going on about how, oh, if you're a safe gun owner, if you're a legal gun owner, then it's fine. And it's just like, okay, but when the criteria for being a legal gun owner isn't as strict as it should be, isn't enforced the way that it should be, there's an issue. There's an issue. And I'm just so sick of feeling scared and nervous and waking up from loud sounds and straining my ears to figure out if there are gunshots going on. It's exhausting. It's so exhausting. And I guess I just kind of wanted to lay that out and talk about it a bit, because I don't have a therapist right now. Been trying to find one, but don't have one right now. So YouTube is my therapist. Congrats, guys. Y'all are doctors.
So yeah, this video is a thing, and I'm sorry it was such a downer. I was starting to move away from those downer videos, and then that happened. We're going into November now, as of me finishing up the edits on this, and I just want to say nothing's really happened since then, and my paranoia has really calmed down. I've really settled in, and I don't really have issues with waking up thinking I heard gunshots anymore, so that's awesome. Now, just because of the fact that I figured, you know what, this is basically a throwback video anyway, I'm going to be releasing it around the same time, so I might as well just do a throwback character as well. So I went ahead and took my OC, Amaryl, which was the OC that I used for that original gun suck video, and I decided to make her in chibi form, which was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed creating a little chibi for her, and I was also drawing her during the time frame where I was playing around with different ways to do my line art, so done a little bit differently than usual too, so yeah, I like how she turned out. But I hope you guys don't judge me too harshly for going on about gun control yet again and my shitty experiences with how gun control has failed this country, in my personal opinion. But I hope that in the meantime, you guys just have an amazing day.